you know. 5 o'clock.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening for our special emergency council meeting. Item 4, appoint Isaac Rake, is it? To firefighter position.
Yes, I'm not,
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Item 5, review payroll, HR clerk applicants.
at our last council meeting, members, you had appointed Teresa Reisdorf to that position as a conditional job offer, pay grade 6, step 1, with 10 days of vacation. After having a further discussion with Ms. Reisdorf, she is not willing to accept it for the $51,000, and I will take some responsibility with that. I gave the salary range for that position and gave them the benefit information. And she came back and asked for vacation, didn't come back and say anything about that, nor did any of the other candidates. So I assumed, and I probably shouldn't have rightly assumed, that the salary was what she was willing to accept. But I did. And so she can't do that. She's got over 20 years of experience. Her thoughts were is that what she would be willing to accept would be, it's pay grade 6, it would be a step 5, which is 59, 780, 51. We have 8 steps in our system. And I did talk to her in length about, our salary in comparison to what hers was, and that what the top of this range was. She assured me that pay was not necessarily the main motivation, but given her years of experience, she felt that she needed that. So I was a little taken back because I felt like she would have brought that up at the time when you bring up vacation. So if anything, maybe it gives us a moment to pause and look at that position over the other candidates that we have. I had an opportunity to talk to the department heads. I've had an opportunity to talk to Bruce. And I also reached out to the other candidate. I know Lori Glanz Gambrino, I believe, and I'm not putting words in any of your guys' mouth, but my impression, at least from you guys, was that she was the second choice.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I think the Civil Service Board agrees, and so does the department heads. Where we're at right now, I did have a chance last night to talk to Lori. Lori, too, would be looking at not wanting to start at the bottom. Her past job, her most current job that she's had, she was making about $60,000 doing that. She would be willing to accept it if you're interested in that, at a pay grade 6, step 3, which would be 55, 537, 12. So she'd be at a 3 on that. What I think part of
With the same 10 days?
Yes, she would like the 10 days too. You got 20 years of experience, and I can tell you if I was looking for a position, which I'm not, that I would, having 20 years of experience as well, I would not want to be started at the bottom, and I wouldn't want to be starting with 0 vacation. So I don't think that that's an unreasonable ask on that. If you take both positions and put them together, they would be the exact candidate that we'd want, because they both have good payroll and HR together. I think Teresa does have both payroll and some HR. I think Lori has more HR. And one of the things that I heard a little bit more from talking to staff and to the Civil Service Board is that the HR is a big piece. The payroll piece would be the first thing that we would really like to get that person acclimated to. So I think Lori has some of that experience, but not as much as Teresa does. Teresa would walk into that very easily to do that, and I think she could handle the job very well. She does have a lot of software experience, which would be great with that. And so I really don't think that on either one of these, I think they're very highly qualified candidates, and I feel very fortunate that both of them want to work here. So
I do recall during that meeting that my last question was comfort on the salary level compared to the salary she was making, which she indicated was just fine.
yes. but the salary is a range given, so I think her understanding, as well as was Lori's, is that there is room to negotiate. And we have done that in other positions where, you know, they come to us with some years of experience, we don't just start them out at the bottom. And so I think maybe this is the disconnect for me, because they're not all used to how government works, that I think they're more under the impression that when they're offered that job, they have the ability to come back and negotiate. And if I would have made that clear on the front end, that would have probably not been the issue. I made the assumption that when I did that and told them that the council was making the appointment and the council had to make these appointments, that they understood that. So,
Here becomes the problem. We always talk about in other things and in employment that we don't want to set a precedence. And I don't believe, I can't remember giving anybody a pay rate. They've always accepted that first level.
no.
No, that's not true.
No,
We
even
hire a lot of
this
people.
Position started at a.
There's people we should have cut their wages, but
No,
You'll
Mike,
never be
there-
able to do that.
When we offered them a position, we offered a different steps
Yeah.
over the years.
yep.
Depending on their qualifications and years of experience. And what I'll tell you about this that I'm seeing, and, you know, we adjusted this based off of level of responsibility. We increased it a grade. That was internal equity. What it doesn't tell me, and what this tells me a little bit, is the external equity. What I think is I think that the private sector HR, I think that we couldn't touch somebody with that kind of, I think they probably are more at that $75,000, $80,000. Not saying that we're ever gonna be at that point, but I'm just saying it's a very competitive market, and that changes, and that makes it more difficult for us to do that.
And when you're looking at that, you have to compare compensation.
We,
Yeah.
absolutely, that's why they
Talking
have all
about
that.
That compensation,
That
just
is
on,
totally
just,
different.
just on the health
That
insurance
compen-
is $10 an hour.
Yes,
$10
I
an hour.
believe that.
Well, there's 2,080
All of
hours
that,
of work.
when
and
we
there's
look-
$20,000
absolutely.
worth of
Insurance.
insurance. So that's
Yeah.
$10 an hour.
And when we do our review of that stuff, all of that gets taken into
Yeah,
consideration.
no, I
It's
know
not
it does,
just-
but,
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
you do, yep,
sometimes you wonder why does somebody take a job like that and if they take a cut in pay or whatever, but if
Yeah.
they're paying anything for their insurance, they're already getting a pay bump.
that's right.
And if they're not, if they're paying $1,000 a month or whatever, and that's
You're
not
right.
uncommon in the workforce today,
It is,
in the
you're very
private
right.
sector.
The benefits here are exceptional.
So we have two options. One is to accept Teresa's offer of pay grade 6, step 6,
Six.
Yeah.
Six
Let me
the
make-
top.
Out of
Hey,
five.
five.
pay grade
Eight.
5, pay grade,
No,
or step
pay
5,
grade six,
Step
step
five.
five.
step 5,
Yep,
with 10 hours of vacation.
yep.
Or to rescind that offer to her.
You wouldn't have to rescind it because she didn't accept it.
Oh, okay. Or to offer Lori the job at a pay grade 6, step 3,
Free. With 10 days.
with 10 days vacation.
Well, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay?
My motion is that we extend the offer to Lori. Step 6,
Can't do that. You gotta resend the first
No,
offer.
we
No,
don't.
we do not.
No,
She
she,
No.
never accepted it.
We do not.
Hold it. We have to resend an offer to the first one, and then we can go to the
No.
second one.
We don't.
No, because she never accepted
turned
the,
it down.
she turned the offer down.
You turn it down?
Yeah,
Yes,
Teresa did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Teresa
All right,
turned it down.
So I'm still going to make the motion to appoint Lori to offer the position to Lori for the payroll clerk, human resources position, pay grade 6, step 3, 10 days vacation time immediate, conditioned upon the successful completion of the employee background check. I'm assuming the eligibility list is still on track to expire May 1st,
Yeah, that would-
2020.
Yes, that would be the same.
I'll second for a conversation.
further discussion.
Yeah, how many steps are in that?
Eight.
Eight, I think.
Eight.
All right,
You know, and, I mean, in all fairness, for us, I asked Lori the question, when can she start? And she said Wednesday.
Yes.
I
Except
think the
that-
only, no, I know, but, so she is available as soon as we clear her.
And I did,
It has the human resources, it's stronger.
in eligibility, employment eligibility.
and I did talk to her prior employer too, so I do feel comfortable that I'm comfortable with both of them, to be honest.
Yeah, they're
I
all
think
good
it's-
candidates.
Yeah.
It's a difficult decision to make.
I think Lori was better than.
All right.
Yep.
I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. We are adjourned at 5:09.
Okay.